In today's fast-paced world, it often feels like we're constantly juggling a multitude of demands, each clamoring for our attention. The word "no" can seem elusive, almost foreign, as we find ourselves agreeing to things out of obligation or fear of disappointment. But here's a liberating thought. What if embracing the wisdom of the Stoics could change that? The ancient philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This profound insight invites us to explore the power of saying no with confidence and grace. By understanding key Stoic principles like detachment and self-awareness, we can begin to transform our approach to decision-making. As we delve deeper into this philosophy, consider your own experiences with the word no. Reflect on the times you've struggled and imagine how these timeless teachings might help you navigate life's pressures with newfound clarity and strength. How often do you find yourself saying yes merely out of obligation? Perhaps it's a favor for a friend, overtime at work, or attending a social event that you're really not interested in. These are all instances where external pressures can easily sway our decisions. The Stoics, however, offer a powerful tool to help us navigate these situations: the principle of detachment. In Stoicism, detachment is not about becoming indifferent to the world around us, but rather about understanding and accepting what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus aptly put it, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." This idea encourages us to shift our focus inward, to prioritize our own values and judgments over the expectations imposed by others. By practicing detachment, we enable ourselves to make choices based on our true desires and commitments, rather than succumbing to societal or interpersonal pressures. Imagine a scenario where you're invited to an event that you feel obligated to attend, although you would rather spend that time on a personal project or simply resting. Instead of automatically agreeing to go, detachment allows you to pause and evaluate the situation. Does attending align with your values and priorities? If not, you're empowered to say no without guilt. Practical application of Stoic detachment in daily life begins by cultivating awareness of our emotional responses. We can start by observing how often we agree to things that do not serve our best interests. Next, it's essential to practice reframing these situations. For instance, if you feel pressured to volunteer for a task at work, ask yourself, "Is this in line with my goals and responsibilities, or am I simply trying to please others?" By consistently questioning our motives, we gradually build the habit of aligning our decisions with our inner values. Another strategy is to build resilience against the fear of disappointing others. This involves recognizing that while we can control our actions and decisions, we cannot control how others may perceive or react to them. This realization can liberate us from the unnecessary burden of others' expectations. It's like a weight lifts off your shoulders when you acknowledge that saying no is an expression of autonomy, not self-centeredness. To deepen this practice, you might consider designing a personal mantra or reminder that reinforces your commitment to autonomy. Something as simple as "I choose based on my values" can be a powerful tool to bring your focus back to what truly matters to you. I invite you to reflect on areas of your life where you frequently relinquish control for the sake of others. Are there commitments you've made that tug at your energy in unproductive ways? By identifying these areas, you can start reclaiming control over your decisions, ensuring that your yeses are genuine affirmations of what you truly want rather than automatic responses to external pressures. Embracing Stoic detachment can slowly guide you towards a life where your actions stem from authenticity and personal fulfillment, paving the way for a more balanced and deliberate existence. Choice is a cornerstone principle in Stoicism. embodying the belief that while we may not control external circumstances, we always have control over our responses and decisions. This philosophy emphasizes that choice is not just about the options presented to us, but more significantly, about exercising our inherent power to say no when it aligns with our authentic selves. As Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, advised, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. His teachings invite us to consider the weight of our choices and the profound strength required to make them deliberately, especially when it involves saying no. Saying no is not an act of defiance, it is an expression of inner strength and wisdom. It is an acknowledgement of our values, priorities, and the limited time we have. When we make choices in alignment with these factors, we are practicing conscious decision-making, which Seneca believed to be a path to fulfillment and peace. Consider a situation where peer pressure is at play, such as a friend pushing you to partake in an activity that does not resonate with your values or priorities. It is easy to say yes for the sake of conformity or out of fear of rejection. Yet, Stoicism teaches that real strength lies in the ability to assert our own path, to say no when necessary, and to do so with confidence and clarity. To illustrate the impact of choice in overcoming societal expectations, let's take the example of someone who feels pressured to pursue a particular career path dictated by social norms or familial expectations. They might find themselves in a profession that earns approval but lacks personal satisfaction or meaning. Recognizing the power of choice allows this individual to critically evaluate their circumstances and decide whether these expectations align with their own values and aspirations. By choosing a path that reflects personal fulfillment rather than societal approval, they exercise true autonomy and embrace a life of purpose rather than one dictated by external forces. The awareness of choice doesn't just apply to major life decisions, but also to daily interactions where saying no could mean declining an invitation that doesn't contribute positively to one's well-being, or setting boundaries in relationships that demand too much. Every small decision contributes to one's overall sense of freedom and self-respect. It's in these moments of choice that we define who we are and what we stand for. As you reflect on the concept of choice, consider the areas in your life where you may feel compelled to say yes. Are these decisions truly your own, or are they influenced by the expectations and judgments of others? Imagine the power of genuinely knowing and understanding your priorities, and how asserting them through your choices can transform your daily life. When you leverage this power, you not only navigate life with clarity and intention, but also pave the way for authentic relationships and opportunities that align with your true self. Ultimately, the power of choice is about embracing your freedom and responsibility. It's about recognizing that every decision, big or small, is an opportunity to affirm your values and craft a life that reflects who you truly are. As you continue to navigate your journey, keep in mind that each no is not just a rejection of something external, but a profound affirmation of something internal, a commitment to living authentically and intentionally. Have you ever felt torn between doing what you believe is right and what others expect of you? This tension between personal virtue and social duty is a common struggle. The Stoics offer valuable insights into navigating this delicate balance, emphasizing that fulfilling our duties should not come at the cost of compromising our core values. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us in his meditations to live in accordance with our nature. This suggests that our actions should align with our intrinsic virtues rather than be molded solely by external expectations. In the Stoic view, virtue is the highest good, and everything else, including social duty, must serve that end. This doesn't mean disregarding responsibilities to family, friends, or society, but rather approaching them in a way that upholds our integrity. For instance, let's consider a professional situation where you are asked to support a business decision that conflicts with your ethical standards. The pressure to conform may be significant, but confidently saying no, based on your principles, not only preserves your moral integrity, but also potentially inspires a culture of honesty and transparency within your community. The balance between personal virtue and duty is not about choosing one over the other, but finding harmony between them. Marcus Aurelius believed that by aligning our actions with our innate sense of virtue, we not only fulfill our personal moral obligations, but also enhance the well-being of the community. When we stand firm in our values, it can bring about a more profound respect and trust from those around us, demonstrating that it is possible to honor both duty and integrity. Consider the personal scenario of a parent who values quality time with their children but faces constant demands from work that limit family time. Balancing these duties may seem challenging, but by confidently setting boundaries at work, the parent can uphold their commitment to family without neglecting professional responsibilities. This scenario highlights how aligning daily actions with core values can lead to personal and communal harmony. Another example could be a community activist who is passionate about environmental sustainability. They are invited to engage in a project that offers significant financial benefits but involves practices contrary to sustainable principles. By saying no to participation, they not only maintain personal integrity but also strengthen their commitment to the broader community's ecological well-being. This steadfastness serves as a beacon of hope and motivation for others who share similar values. The Stoic approach encourages us to reflect deeply on our values and how they guide our actions. It asks us to consider, are the choices we make reflective of our true selves, or are they driven by external pressures and expectations? In grappling with this question, we can begin to recognize the importance of living authentically, where actions harmonize with our deepest convictions. I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on where you might feel this tension in your own life. Are there areas where you're compromising your values under the guise of fulfilling a duty? And if so, how might embracing the Stoic balance help you realign with your principles? By consciously aligning your actions with your core values, you not only honor your personal virtue but contribute to the creation of a more truthful and harmonious community. This approach to living isn't merely for the self, it has the power to spark change and integrity in the world around us. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, from the constant ping of notifications to the endless scroll of social media. It feels like our attention is always being pulled in 1,000 directions. These modern distractions can make it difficult to remain anchored in the present, often leading us to make decisions that don't fully reflect our true intentions or desires. Practicing mindful presence, a core aspect of Stoic philosophy, offers a powerful antidote to this challenge. By cultivating the ability to stay focused on the present moment, we gain clarity and insight into our choices, including the crucial decision of when to say no. Epictetus, a revered Stoic philosopher, taught that our experience of life is shaped not by external events, but by how we interpret and respond to those events. This insight underscores the importance of mindful presence. Being truly present allows us to engage with the world as it is, rather than through the haze of distraction or preconceived notions. When we're grounded in the present, we can observe our thoughts and feelings with clarity, making thoughtful decisions that align with our values. Consider the scenario of a conversation with a friend or colleague. When we are fully present, giving undivided attention to the interaction, we can better sense when a request or expectation does not align with our priorities. This awareness provides the clarity necessary to assertively decline when needed, without guilt or second-guessing. Being present enables us to respond rather than react, creating space for intentional decision-making that respects both our boundaries and those of others. Additionally, maintaining mindful presence can transform how we handle day-to-day decisions, helping us assess whether our actions serve our long-term goals. For instance, imagine being in a meeting where multiple tasks are being assigned, and the pressure is on to agree to take on more. By practicing mindful presence, you can pause to evaluate each request's alignment with your core responsibilities before responding. This not only helps in setting clear boundaries, but also ensures your commitments are purposeful and manageable. Epictetus believed that focusing on the present moment allows us to exercise our will over what we can control, our thoughts, choices, and actions. This focus is as relevant today as it was in ancient times, particularly given the barrage of distractions that compete for our attention. It invites us to regularly check in with ourselves, asking reflective questions like, how often do I let distractions sway my decisions? Am I truly present in the choices I make, or am I acting out of habit or external pressures? To implement mindful presence in your life, start by consciously setting aside distractions during critical decision-making moments. This could be as simple as turning off notifications or taking a few deep breaths before responding to a request for your time or energy. Over time, these small practices can cultivate a habit of presence that strengthens your ability to say no when it truly matters, in line with your values and priorities. I encourage you to take a moment to assess your daily interactions. How often do distractions pull you away from being truly present? What impact do these divided attentions have on your ability to make conscious, intentional choices? Through the practice of mindful presence, you not only enhance your decision-making but also craft a life marked by clarity and determined focus. Imagine the ancient city of Rome, bustling with life and intrigue. Enter Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero, known not just for his philosophical insights but also for his remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. Seneca's life was a testament to the Stoic principle of building inner resilience, a skill that is crucial when it comes to confidently saying no, especially when met with social backlash or pressure. His experiences remind us that resilience is not about avoiding hardships but about enduring them with strength and composure. Resilience, according to Seneca, is cultivated by preparing oneself mentally and emotionally for the inevitable challenges of life. He famously stated, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." This perspective is invaluable when it comes to saying no with confidence. Often, the fear of social disapproval or conflict can lead us to agree to things that go against our better judgment. But by building resilience, we empower ourselves to withstand external pressures and stay true to our principles. So, how can we develop this crucial trait? One practical method is through practicing gratitude. By focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we shift our mindset from fear of loss to appreciation of abundance. This mental shift creates a strong foundation of contentment and self-assuredness that helps us make decisions aligned with our true values. For instance, keeping a daily gratitude journal where you note down things you are thankful for can gradually enhance your perspective and resilience. Another powerful exercise is self-reflection. Regularly taking time to reflect on past experiences can offer insights into patterns of decision-making, especially those influenced by fear. Consider a time when you agreed to something out of fear of disappointing others or facing criticism. Reflect on how that decision affected your well-being and sense of integrity. By understanding these patterns, you can pinpoint areas where resilience is needed and prepare yourself to handle similar situations more confidently in the future. Seneca also emphasized the importance of enduring hardships with perseverance. Life's challenges are not just obstacles, they are opportunities to grow and reinforce our resilience. For example, if you face criticism for declining a commitment, remind yourself that each no is an exercise in self-respect and truthfulness. over time, these experiences strengthen your ability to stand firm in your convictions despite external pressures. Think about your own life, those moments when you said yes out of fear rather than genuine conviction. How did those choices impact you? Now, imagine how building resilience might alter those decisions. With resilience, the fear of saying no diminishes because you trust in your ability to handle any resulting discomfort or backlash. This inner strength frees you to live more authentically, making decisions based on conviction rather than compulsion. In closing, remember that resilience is not an innate trait but a skill that anyone can develop. Through gratitude, reflection, and perseverance, you can build the inner strength necessary to say no with confidence and grace. Let Seneca's life be a beacon, guiding you through adversity and into a life where each decision is a reflection of your true self. Embrace resilience and watch your capacity for embracing authentic choices grow. In our increasingly interconnected world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by a myriad of obligations. From work responsibilities and social commitments to family duties, the weight of these demands can sometimes be suffocating. However, it's crucial to recognize that not all obligations are genuine burdens. The Stoic philosophers, particularly Marcus Aurelius, offer profound insights into discerning which obligations are truly meaningful and which are merely imposed by external expectations. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the importance of understanding our duties through the lens of our values. He believed that true obligations align with our inherent virtues and contribute positively to our well-being and the well-being of others. The challenge, then, is to differentiate between these genuine responsibilities and those that arise from societal pressures or our own misconceptions. Consider a common scenario: the expectation to attend every social gathering to maintain friendships. While genuine connections are important, the obligation to be present at every event may not align with one's personal values or time constraints. Marcus Aurelius would argue for introspection, asking oneself, does this align with my values and priorities? By doing so, you can make conscious choices that respect both your time and your relationships. The Stoic approach encourages setting clear boundaries, especially with overly demanding acquaintances or situations. Boundaries are not walls to isolate oneself, but rather structures that protect one's time and energy. For example, if a colleague frequently burdens you with tasks outside your role, it might be time to have an open conversation about your responsibilities. Politely but firmly communicating your limits reinforces your commitment to your own obligations without unnecessary guilt. Delving deeper, it's essential to evaluate which obligations are self-imposed. Often, we create pressures based on what we think we should do rather than what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the need for self-awareness to challenge these internal narratives. By questioning the origin of your obligations, you can uncover whether they are driven by personal values or external expectations. For instance, do you volunteer for every project at work because it aligns with your career goals or because you're seeking validation? To practically apply this Stoic wisdom, start by listing your current obligations. Examine each one critically. Does it reflect your values? Is it imposed by others, or is it something you've assumed without question? This exercise can illuminate areas where you are overcommitting out of habit rather than genuine necessity. As you evaluate, consider the impact of each obligation on your mental and emotional health. Does it bring you fulfillment and growth, or does it drain you? By prioritizing obligations that contribute positively to your life, you create space for more meaningful engagements. I invite you to reflect on your own life. What obligations are weighing you down unnecessarily? How can you realign them with your true values? By embracing the Stoic understanding of obligations, you can navigate your commitments with clarity and purpose, ensuring that the energy you invest truly enriches your life and aligns with your virtues. In embracing this practice, you'll not only lighten your load, but also enrich your personal and professional relationships with authenticity and presence. Through mindful discernment, you transform obligations from burdensome demands into empowering choices, paving the way for a life grounded in genuine responsibility and fulfillment. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, how well do I truly know my priorities? This question is more than just a thought exercise. It's a call to develop a profound self-awareness that is crucial for confidently navigating life's demands. When we have a clear understanding of what truly matters to us, we gain the ability to say no, not out of reluctance, but with certainty and purpose. Self-awareness, as emphasized by the Stoics and particularly by Epictetus, is a foundational pillar in guiding our actions and living a life aligned with our values. Epictetus famously taught that knowing oneself is the beginning of wisdom. He believed that self-awareness empowers us to distinguish between what is essential in our lives and what is merely noise. In essence, by understanding who we are and what we stand for, we can make choices that reflect our true selves rather than those influenced by external pressures or fleeting desires. Consider a common scenario. You are offered a high-paying job that requires extensive travel, but your heart lies in spending time with your family and nurturing your passion projects. Without self-awareness, it might be tempting to accept the offer purely for its financial benefits. But if you've taken the time to truly understand your priorities, you might recognize that the job's demands conflict with what you value most: quality time with loved ones and personal growth. Here, self-awareness acts as a compass, guiding you to confidently decline the offer, knowing that your decision aligns with your core values. This self-awareness doesn't just clarify when to say no, it also illuminates when to commit wholeheartedly. When opportunities arise that resonate with our deeply held priorities, we can engage with enthusiasm and authenticity, knowing that we are investing our time and energy wisely. For example, if a volunteer opportunity arises that aligns with your passion for teaching, your self-awareness allows you to confidently commit, understanding its alignment with your values. To cultivate this level of self-awareness, start with reflection. Dedicate time to jot down your values and aspirations. Reflect on past decisions, which ones brought you joy and fulfillment, and which left you feeling misaligned or regretful. This exercise reveals patterns in your decision-making process, highlighting areas where greater self-awareness would be beneficial. Another practical approach is mindfulness. Engage in practices like meditation or journaling to hone your ability to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Mindfulness creates space for introspection, allowing you to delve deeper into your motivations and desires. Over time, this practice cultivates a heightened sense of self-awareness, equipping you to make decisions that truly honor your priorities. As you contemplate your level of self-awareness, consider how well you understand your own motivations and desires. Are your current commitments reflective of your true priorities, or have they been shaped by external influences? This reflection is an ongoing journey, a commitment to continuously aligning your actions with your evolving sense of self. In embracing self-awareness, you gain the power to live intentionally. It's not just about saying no, it's about saying yes to a life that genuinely reflects who you are. By knowing yourself deeply, you craft a life of authenticity, where each decision is a step toward fulfilling your true purpose. So, as you move through your day, let self-awareness guide you, helping you navigate each choice with clarity and confidence, knowing that your actions truly resonate with your highest values. Have you ever found yourself saying yes because you feared disappointing someone? Perhaps you accepted an invitation you couldn't decline, or agreed to a task at work despite your overflowing schedule. This fear of rejection, a deep-seated worry that our relationships might fracture or that our self-worth could be questioned, often leads us to make choices that don't reflect our true desires. But what if this fear is rooted in misplaced values, values that elevate external approval above our own genuine fulfillment? The Stoics, particularly Seneca, offer insightful wisdom on this matter. Seneca believed that much of our anxiety stems from prioritizing what others think of us over how we view ourselves. He famously remarked, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." This might sound bleak at first, but Seneca aimed to remind us that life is full of challenges, and shifting our focus from external validation to internal acceptance can transform our experience of these challenges. When we value self-approval more than the fleeting opinions of others, our fear of rejection begins to diminish. The fear of rejection is a common thread in the human experience, often tied to how we perceive our own worth. Stoic philosophy encourages us to assess whether our values are aligned with personal growth and integrity rather than external accolades. By embracing Stoic principles, we learn to ground ourselves in the understanding that others' judgments do not define our value. Instead, true contentment comes from a self-assured acceptance of who we are and the choices we make. To reduce anxiety about others' judgments, begin with self-reflection. One practical strategy is journaling. By writing down your fears, you can confront them head-on, transforming abstract worries into tangible thoughts. Take, for instance, the fear of a colleague's disapproval if you decline to help on a project. When journaled, this fear can be dissected. Is your value as a team member truly contingent on this one action, or do you contribute in numerous other meaningful ways? This practice not only clarifies your fears but also provides a powerful opportunity to reframe them, viewing rejection not as a reflection of your worth but as an isolated incident within a broader, more complex personal narrative. Reframing is another crucial tactic. When you encounter situations where rejection feels imminent, ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen? And more importantly, how likely is that outcome? Often, the anticipated negative consequences are exaggerated in our minds. By questioning these assumptions, you gain perspective, realizing that rejection often has a negligible impact on your life's trajectory. Furthermore, consider reframing rejection as an opportunity for growth rather than a failure. Each no, whether it's one you give or receive, is a step towards living more authentically, aligning your actions with your core values rather than external expectations. Recognize that rejection can teach resilience, offering a chance to re-evaluate your choices and ensure they reflect true priorities. I invite you to reflect on how you currently perceive rejection. Does it have a disproportionate influence over your decisions? How might viewing rejection through a Stoic lens change your perception, making it feel less like a personal failure and more like an integral part of a well-lived life? Embracing this mindset can free you from the fear that holds you back, enabling you to pursue what truly matters with confidence and grace. By valuing your own approval over the transient opinions of others, you build a life anchored in authenticity and purpose. Remember, overcoming the fear of rejection isn't about disregarding others entirely, but about finding balance where self-respect and integrity guide your choices more than the fleeting applause of the world. So next time you face a situation where rejection looms, draw from the strength of the Stoics. Anchor yourself to your values and let them be the guideposts on your journey toward true self-fulfillment. Picture this: you're a ship at sea, navigating through the vast expanse of life. The waves of external expectations crash around you, strong and unyielding. Yet, what keeps you on course isn't the wind or the waves, but the steadfast compass you hold within. This internal compass symbolizes your true values and goals, the guiding force that leads you to fulfillment regardless of life's external turbulence. In Stoicism, this metaphorical compass is central to living a good life. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, teach teach us to focus on internal goals rather than seeking validation from the external world. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the tranquility found in grounding oneself in internal values. He believed that peace and happiness arise from aligning our actions with our inner principles, unfazed by the fleeting whims of public opinion or superficial success. Emphasizing internal goals involves recognizing that true fulfillment doesn't come from external achievements or accolades, but from living in accordance with our values and virtues. This is where the Stoic practice of saying no becomes particularly powerful. By learning to say no to opportunities or demands that do not align with our internal goals, we protect our integrity and remain true to our personal aspirations. For example, consider the pursuit of a high-status job. It may promise external validation and societal accolades, yet if it conflicts with your deeper goal of maintaining work-life balance or exploring a passion, it becomes a superficial aim. By using your internal compass, you can confidently decline such paths that deviate from your authentic self, ensuring your actions reflect who you truly are rather than who you're expected to be. To help identify and prioritize personal goals, consider these Stoic-inspired exercises. 1. Reflection journaling. Regularly take time to write about your core values and the goals that derive from them. Reflect on whether your daily actions align with these internal aspirations. This practice not only clarifies your internal goals, but also highlights any discrepancies between your actions and your values. 2. Visualization of the ideal self. Imagine your ideal self living in full accordance with your values. What does that life look like? What goals are central to your happiness? Visualizing this ideal can help illuminate the path that aligns with your internal compass. 3. Decision audit. For a week, assess each significant decision you make. Did your choices align with internal aspirations, or were they swayed by external validation? This audit can reveal patterns and guide necessary adjustments in your decision-making process. As you contemplate these exercises, reflect on how often you prioritize external validation over your internal goals. Do you find yourself swayed by societal pressures more than you'd like? Understanding this balance is crucial. When you prioritize external over internal validation, you may find yourself adrift amid others' expectations, potentially sacrificing your true happiness. By focusing on your internal compass, you cultivate a life anchored in authenticity and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius would advise, peace comes from within, not from the external clamor of the world. As you sail through life's vast ocean, let your internal compass guide you toward decisions that resonate deeply with your soul, ensuring that each no is a step closer to living your truest, most fulfilled life. Imagine the life of Diogenes, a philosopher known for his radical embrace of simplicity. Legend has it that he lived in a large ceramic jar rather than a house and owned nothing beyond a cloak, a staff, and a small cup, which he later discarded after observing a boy drinking water with his hands. Diogenes epitomized the Stoic principle that contentment arises not from accumulation but from simplicity, a lesson that deeply resonates within Stoic teachings. This philosophy encourages us to find joy and satisfaction in what we already possess, freeing us from the endless cycle of desire and consumption. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, often wrote about finding joy in less, urging us to consider what truly constitutes a flourishing life. He believed that by stripping away excess, we reveal the essence of what is profoundly meaningful. Seneca famously stated, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This insight challenges us to reflect on our own lives. Are we endlessly chasing more, mistaking excess for fulfillment? The ability to say no confidently is reinforced when we embrace simplicity. When our lives are cluttered with commitments and possessions, it becomes challenging to discern what genuinely aligns with our values. By simplifying, we create space for clarity and focus. For instance, reducing the number of social obligations allows us to dedicate time to relationships and activities that truly nourish us. Similarly, simplifying our digital footprint, unsubscribing from unnecessary notifications, or decluttering our social media feeds can free mental space and reduce stress. In today's world, this principle is especially relevant as we face the relentless tide of consumerism and social expectations. The pressure to acquire more, be it possessions, accolades, or experiences, often leads us astray from our true priorities. Consider the common scenario of upgrading to the latest gadget, not because it serves a genuine need, but because of societal pressures or the fear of missing out. This pursuit of more can trap us in a cycle where our decisions are driven by external demands rather than internal values. Simplifying commitments can yield profound benefits. Take, for example, a professional who chooses to streamline their responsibilities by delegating tasks, thereby allowing more time for strategic thinking and creative pursuits. This simplification not only enhances professional performance but also enriches personal well-being. Another example might be a family simplifying their schedule, opting for fewer extracurricular activities to enjoy more quality time together. By focusing on what truly matters, they strengthen familial bonds and foster a sense of contentment. Now, I challenge you to evaluate the complexity of your own life. Are there areas where you've accumulated too much, be it possessions, commitments, or even mental clutter? How might simplifying these aspects bring more clarity and joy? Consider starting with small steps. Declutter a room, say no to an unnecessary meeting, or unplug from digital distractions for a day. These actions, though seemingly minor, can cumulatively transform your life, allowing you to focus on what genuinely enhances your well-being. Embracing simplicity isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of excess, enabling you to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what truly aligns with your values. By finding contentment in simplicity, you unlock the door to a more focused, fulfilling life, where each decision honors your authentic self. Let the wisdom of Stoics like Diogenes and Seneca guide you towards a life where joy is found not in the abundance of things, but in the richness of simplicity. As we reach the end of our exploration into the Stoic art of saying no with confidence, let's take a moment to reflect on the timeless principles that have guided our journey. We've delved into the empowering concept of detachment, a central tenet of Stoicism that teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to let go of what isn't. By understanding the difference, we learn to navigate life's demands with a sense of calm and clarity, unshackling ourselves from external pressures that do not align with our authentic selves. Next, we explored the power of choice. The Stoics believed that every decision should be a reflection of our true values and priorities. By embracing the freedom of choice, we assert our autonomy and craft a life that aligns with our deepest convictions. This awareness fosters a kind of inner peace as we realize that every yes and no is an opportunity to live in accordance with our values. Resilience was another crucial theme, as Seneca and other Stoics remind us that life's challenges are opportunities to cultivate inner strength. Building resilience allows us to withstand the pressures of societal expectations, enabling us to say no with poise and assurance. It's a reminder that our worth is not tied to the approval of others, but to our own steadfast commitment to our values. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, offered profound wisdom. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Color it with a running train of such thoughts as these. Anywhere you can lead your life, you can lead a good one. This quote encapsulates the Stoic belief that living according to one's values is the path to a fulfilling life. It encourages us to cultivate thoughts and actions that reflect our true nature, guiding us to live with integrity and purpose. Applying these Stoic principles in our daily lives brings numerous benefits. By practicing detachment, we reduce anxiety and gain mental clarity. Through conscious choice, we align our actions with our personal goals, ensuring that our energy is invested wisely. Resilience empowers us to face life's ups and downs with grace, maintaining our sense of self amidst external challenges. Together, these principles equip us to say no confidently, protecting our well-being and nurturing our authentic selves. I invite you to consider how you might integrate these teachings into your decision-making. Reflect on your current commitments and evaluate whether they align with your core values. Are there areas where saying no could create space for more meaningful pursuits? By gradually applying Stoic principles, you can transform your approach to daily life, embracing a more intentional and fulfilling path. As we conclude, I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. How have Stoic teachings impacted your life? In what ways do you plan to use them to enhance your decision-making? Let's foster a community of individuals dedicated to living more authentically, supporting each other on this journey of personal growth and empowerment. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Stoic art of saying no with confidence. May these timeless teachings inspire you to live a life true to your values, filled with clarity, purpose, and inner peace.